So this tool's been around for like 2 or 3 years now. I don't know why. I'm just finding out about it now. You can generate these podcasts. They're quite good.
There's a tremendous amount of focused, sustained attention.
The voices are good.
Marianne Wolf calls it the quiet eye. When you read a dense novel, you're holding complex syntax in your head.
It's all coming from these sources, and the sources are ones that you can actually choose. I'm sure it's not just me who could benefit a lot from this and had no idea it existed. So I'm creating a video for a friend anyways. I figured I would just publish it and share the skills. So while the episodes are made in Notebook, the actual briefs and list of sources I generate in Claude. I found this to be much better. Basically, you go to settings, you go to connectors, customize. I'm sure there's an easier way to do this. Then you go to skills, and then go to add, upload a skill. And you can drag in, I made 2 skills that I'm going to share. I'm just going to put in both of them. One is for a debate brief, and one is for a deep dive brief. The debate is exactly what it sounds like. A couple of hosts, they sort of have contrasting opinions and they debate them. The deep dive is, again, it's still 2 hosts. There's like a third person who jumps in. I have no idea why. But there are essentially 2 hosts, and they're just like comparing notes and talking about the sources in a deep dive. And this is where we'll create our brief. So in this case, let's make a deep dive. And let's say, well, I'm going to a Baroque concert later this week. I know almost nothing about Baroque music. So let's learn something new. I'm actually just going to take the program from the concert and drag it in, just keep my prompt simple. And I'll just say something like this. I'm going to this concert later this week. I know nothing about Baroque music. I'd like to generate a deep dive episode of a podcast that will give me some background on the type of music I'll hear and help me better enjoy it. And this is like legit the type of thing that I usually do. You can see how even though I didn't specify to use the skill, it just kind of knew. I guess probably because I said deep dive or podcast, or really what's happening is it's reading the description of the skill, which is part of it, every time I write in a message, and then it's just aligning like, is there anything here that's valuable in this skill that I could use? And in this case there is, which is that it will give me a lead concept and then 2 alternate concepts, which would be like interesting ideas for a podcast episode. Like this one, the tune that wouldn't die. This one really sounds intriguing. We have La Folia, which is actually a piece of music that's going to be on the program. So I'm going to go with that. These are great. Let's go with the tune that wouldn't die. Because it understands the skill, it's going to actually gather all of the different resources, the sources that we need to start talking about this. And then it's going to prepare a brief for us. It just finished. You can see like all of the different links that it goes through in this skill. And it depends on which model you're using and which level of effort. Apparently I can use this on the free tier, which is great. And so here we have the short list of sources, which is 10 different sources, and the brief that we're going to paste. And so I'll show you how we can set this up. So in Notebook, when you create a new notebook, it's going to give you the ability to search the web. And in this case, what I do is I actually just grab the short list and I paste it in here, hit enter. It's found these 10 sources. I'm going to hit import, and they're all in. Once they're in, we're going to automatically get a title and some information. This was a part that took me a while to figure out, but if you click this button, it will generate a podcast. If you click this arrow, it will give you the options. Inside the options, we're actually going to go grab the brief from the skill in Claude and paste it in. And then this was a deep dive. If we use the debate skill, then this would be a debate. We can choose a length. Default, I think, is about, I've seen like 20, 25 minutes with things generated by the skill. Long is like an hour. I haven't even tried short. It'll take a bit to generate, but not even as long as the playtime on this episode. Okay, I think that took like 6 minutes, something like that. Let's take a listen.
So this Saturday, you're going to sit down in a velvet seat to hear Francesco Geminiani's Concerto Grosso.
Right.
And you'll probably think you're listening to this pristine Baroque masterpiece, preserved perfectly under museum glass.
It is on Saturday.
Yeah.
Exactly. But what you are actually hearing is, well, it's basically a 500-year-old cultural virus.
A literal contagion.
Right. It's this piece of musical DNA that infected over 150 composers, constantly mutated, and just absolutely refused to die.
It's wild.
It really is. So today we are tracking that contagion. We've got this massive stack of sources we're looking at, ranging from the LA Phil's program notes and these really deep dive music theory breakdowns to historical archives, and even the incredibly revealing personal letters
Anyways, you get the idea. But this is such a good way to extend like stuff that you're already doing. I can imagine the next time I travel somewhere, the next time I experience a new director, if I'm watching a movie, all this kind of stuff. There's preparation that can be done that's very simple. And really, honestly, it's like fairly captivating stuff. And, how often can we find, 15, 20 minutes to listen to something and end up enjoying the thing that we're going to do that much more? So anyways, I was just really excited about this technique and wanted to share it.